So following our heroics in the Europa League in Athens this week, it's a really quick turnaround, isn't it, before our next Premier League game, a 12 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. This is the Leicester City versus Arsenal match preview. Hello, my name is Richie. Welcome back to my channel over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. In this video, I'm going to look ahead to this weekend's big Premier League game here at the King Power Stadium against Leicester City. I'm going to look at previous meetings, current form of both teams, predicted lineup, and also I'm going to give a score prediction as well. But before I get into all that, I want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, you like a lot of Positive Arsenal content, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. Please share the content around. And if you've got any comments at all to make about this particular game on Sunday or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop me in the comments box below, as I do love to hear from you guys as well. So in history then, Arsenal and Leicester have played each other 145 times. Arsenal have won 67, there's been 45 draws, and Leicester have won just 33. However, in recent times, we haven't had a particularly good record against this particular opposition. We've only had one win in our last 7 league visits away to Leicester. We've drawn 3 and lost 3. We did, of course, win here earlier this season in the Carabao Cup. We've lost our last 3 league visits, however, and we've not won any of the last 4. In fact, our last win here in the Premier League was back in September 2015, that 5-2 victory, of course, which included a hat-trick from Alexis Sanchez. Of course, Leicester did go on that season to win the Premier League. We've actually had no wins in our last 4 league meetings with Leicester, but we've only won 1 of our last 6 league meetings against Leicester, and we've had 4 defeats and 1 draw. Of course, that only league victory was at the Emirates. It was in October 2018. Of course, it was that Mesut Ozil game when he scored and had 2 assists. And that is, of course, our last league victory over Leicester. So Leicester surprisingly were knocked out of the Europa League, of course, this midweek with that 2-0 defeat at home to Slavia Prague. That actually ended a 6-match unbeaten run that they'd been on. They'd won 4 and drawn 2, I say, of their previous 6 matches. That was, of course, since they lost at home to Leeds back in January. That defeat in midweek was only their 2nd defeat in their last 17 matches, although all 4 of their most recent defeats have come here at the King Power Stadium. So although our recent record hasn't been good, Leicester tend to be much better away from home, and of course they did win 1-0 at the Emirates earlier this season. Of course, we're coming into this match boosted by that midweek victory in Athens against Benfica in the Europa League, although of course we did lose to Manchester City in our last Premier League game last week, and of course that was on the heels of recent defeats against Wolves and Aston Villa as well. So certainly in the Premier League, we're not in fantastic form, are we? Following that great run, of course, that we had at the turn of the year, results haven't really gone our way. In fact, the victory over Leeds a couple of weeks ago at the Emirates is our only win in our last 6 Premier League games. Let's hope we can reproduce the midweek Europa League form in this game. In terms of predicted lineup then, I think Arsenal are going to make quite a few changes from the game against Benfica. Obviously, it's a very quick turnaround, a lot of travel involved as well. 2 4-hour flights, of course, in the space of 24 hours. So I'm expecting there to be quite a few changes. It's difficult to know exactly what Mikel Arteta is going to do. I think in goal, Bernd Leno will still start. Goalkeepers don't tend to get changed today, although Matt Ryan, of course, is a very good backup. I think there's going to be a few changes in the back 4. I'm expecting Cedric to maybe come in at right back in place of Hector Bellerin, who's been playing a lot of football lately. I think the 2 centre-halves will both be different from the midweek as well. I think Rob Holding and Pablo Mari will play there as they did last Sunday against Manchester City. And I do think Kieran Tierney will probably keep his place at left back because there isn't really a lot of other options in that position. Plus as well, he's still getting himself back into full fitness again, isn't he, following his injury layoff. I think in midfield, I wouldn't be surprised to see Thomas Partey start this game actually. He did get half an hour or so in the game against Benfica. again, he's another one who needs minutes in his legs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him coming in, possibly alongside Granit Xhaka. Doesn't seem to get a rest, does he? He seems to play every single game. I guess El Nene's another option maybe to come in. Didn't feature, of course, against Benfica, so there's an option there as well. I think in the forward positions as well, I'm expecting to see a few changes. The big question is, will Bukayo Saka get a rest? Been so important for us in recent games. You're almost tempted to play him anyway, but he has played a lot of football, and I do feel as though he's going to need a rest at some point. Maybe this is the game to rest him. Obviously, Nicolas Pepe can come in and play on the right-hand side. There's Martinelli as well, who hasn't really featured much at all recently. He hasn't played, so he maybe needs some minutes as well, so he can possibly get a start. Who's going to play in the number 10 position? Smith Rowe's looked a bit tired lately. Odegaard's played a lot of football, so again, the options are maybe running out there. Maybe Willian might get a start, seeing as he's not played as much minutes in recent games as he had been previously. And then, of course, up front, will Aubameyang start again? He did score 2 goals, of course, against Benfica. He did score a recent hat-trick against Leeds in the Premier League as well, or possibly Lacazette, who hasn't been featuring much lately. He did come on in the closing stages against Benfica. So we have got a few options there, but I'm expecting there to be quite a few changes from Arsenal. In terms of Leicester, of course, they did rest several players, didn't they, for their Europa League game? It did backfire as they lost here against Slavia Prague. So I'm expecting them to go much more full strength. Obviously, they were resting players possibly ahead of this game, as they are still very much in the title race. So I'd expect Leicester to line up something like this. Obviously, Kasper Schmeichel will be in goal. I think the back four will be Castagna, Soyuncu, Evans, and probably Thomas at left back, of course, with James Justin, of course, still out injured. I think in midfield, indeed, he's likely to start, isn't he? I think Tielemans will be in there as well. I think there's an injury doubt about James Maddison, actually, which is probably quite good for us if he doesn't play. I'm expecting Harvey Barnes will be in the side, possibly Pereira as well on the right-hand side. With Jamie Vardy, of course, up front. I mean, Vardy, of course, always scores against us, doesn't he? So it's almost like we're 1-0 down before we start when he's in the side. Of course, Under as well has got an opportunity to maybe come into the side as well. And of course, Iheanacho as well. And Jose Perez also as well. So they've got a decent squad. But I'm expecting there to be several changes from both sides following the midweek games. But they'll be the lineups I'll be expecting in this game. So I predicted score then. It's going to be a very tough game for Arsenal, isn't it, with the travel that we've had. A really intense game, of course, as well on Thursday. But how are Leicester going to respond to their defeat, of course, in the Europa League? And I say their last 4 defeats in all competitions have come at home. So maybe there's a little bit of a problem there, with no fans in the stadium for them, how they cope with that. So I wasn't really giving us a lot of hope earlier in the week, I must be honest. But following the midweek results, suddenly I'm feeling a little bit more confident about Arsenal's chances in this game. I do think we'll rest a few players. Leicester's confidence would have taken a knocker. It's a big defeat for them in the Europa League. I'm sure they would have been expecting to go through. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. We can use a bit of momentum from our own Europa League success, and maybe we can actually get a result now. It's going to be a tough game, isn't it? We haven't won here, I say, in the league for quite a number of years, which makes it even tougher. But we did win, I say, in the Carabao Cup here earlier this season. I'm going to take confidence from that, and I'm going to predict the final score here: Leicester City 1, Arsenal 1. So it's another big game for Arsenal, isn't it? If we want to try and claw our way back into the top 6, it's vital that we pick up something from this game. Having lost last week against Manchester City, we've only had 1 win in our last 6 games in the Premier League as well. So we do need to turn that around. It's not going to be easy, but I say if Leicester have got a weakness, it is probably here at home. So this is our opportunity to maybe come here on Sunday and get a result. Of course, early kickoffs don't tend to suit us, do they? Especially after the travel that we've had. But you never know. There's been a strange season of results. Leicester have lost a few times at home this season to some teams lower down the league. So there's no reason why we can't come here and get a result. So we need to be optimistic. We need to be confident. And let's hope that we can keep ourselves still in the shout for a final top 6 position. So that's my preview there, this big game on Sunday against Leicester here at the King Power Stadium. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game, what you think our chances are of getting a result, also what your predicted lineup would be, bearing in mind the recent travels that we've had as well. Stay tuned to the channel because I've got lots of stuff coming up. Tomorrow, of course, I'm doing a watch-along, but in the morning I'm actually appearing on Leicester Fan TV to do a preview of this game. That's going to be a really good show at 10 o'clock, that is. So please tune in today if you can. And then I'll be doing a watch-along going live about 11:45 for the 12 o'clock kickoff, a little bit of build-up, team news, and then full match commentary and analysis as well. And then after the game, around 2 o'clock, I'll be doing a post-match fan reaction. I'll get 3 or 4 fans on to give their thoughts on the performance. And then on Monday, I'll be releasing my review video of the game, going over the performance and selecting the man of the match as well. So loads coming up on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. Please give this video a like as well. Please share the content around. So drop your comments in the box. I do love to hear what you guys think about it all as well. So stay tuned to the channel. Loads coming up. Thanks for watching. And in the meantime, of course, come on, you Gunners.